My name is John Perkis. I've worked in executive search for 20 years, and pretty quickly I realised that candidates needed help to market themselves, even very senior candidates. So a colleague and I, who's a business psychologist, we wrote a book called Brand You, which has become quite popular. And Brand You is about how to discover what makes you unique and how to market yourself. It's important for an executive to identify his or her talents because we're going one level below where people normally operate. So most people are pretty aware of their skills. They've developed skills on the basis of their talents. But if you look on LinkedIn or wherever, you'll see millions of people who've got pretty much the same skills. What we're looking for is the thing that you naturally do well that makes you stand out from everybody else. So to give a simple example, there are many people who can manage the production of software and computers, which Steve Jobs did. There are many people who can speak to an audience or manage a company, which Steve Jobs did. But what he clearly did, in addition to all of that, is he identified the talents that he loved to use, and he built a very strong brand around his particular way of doing what he loved to do. If you're going a level deeper and trying to find out your talents, that takes a bit more work. So a very good exercise is as follows. What you do is you go back as far as you can remember to early childhood. It might be when you're 3 years old, and you work forwards to the present day. What we're looking for is high points in your life. So these high points could be when you felt fantastic because you've achieved something, like scoring a goal in the school football team. It can also be when there's a strong feeling of connection. For example, you're with a parent or your spouse or your children, there's some kind of moment where you feel strongly connected. Or it could even be connection with an audience, that kind of magical moment. A third way it can happen is when you are completely immersed in something you're doing and you lose track of time. So you get into this flow state. It happens to some people when they're playing sports. And once you've got a list, at least 7, but it could be many more high points, you then go back and analyze and you ask yourself a question. You say, well, okay, when this high point occurred, which talent was I using? Who was I with? Where was I? What kind of people? What kind of situation? And if you do that for every high point, you'll start to spot a pattern. You'll start to see what has to happen normally for you to experience a high point. And that's really valuable information. It shows you where you're at your best, where are you most excited, and where are you most effective. I believe all of us can do that to some extent. We can find out what we're really excited about, focus on that, and then the people who want what we do will come to us.